I'm Susie Macamel, a member of Trinity Presbyterian Church. I've been a member for 12 years.
My name is Michael Palmer. Moved to McKinney in 2012, so we've been a member now for about 8 years.
My name is Sharon Montgomery. I've been a member of Trinity for over 25 years.
My name is Mary Willard, and I have been at Trinity for 5 years on December 1st this year.
What is Sunshine Crew? That is a ministry that has been a part of Trinity for a number of years now. It kind of falls under the category of our just older youth, our senior citizens, and it is a ministry that pays particular attention to those who are homebound, those who are in nursing homes, assisted living facilities. You can imagine just what it would mean to somebody who hasn't spoken to somebody from Trinity in a while, and all of a sudden they get a phone call from somebody they know, but they haven't seen or heard from. It's like a breath of fresh air that somebody has just come in and thought about them. So we try to bring sunshine to those individuals, and we absolutely do not want them to be forgotten. COVID has obviously impacted the Sunshine Crew ministry. It's impacted all of our lives. We were able, before COVID, to go to the assisted living facilities, to the memory care facilities, to their homes, and we were able to visit them face to face. And that is huge. They could look forward to seeing us periodically, and so we maybe visit them once a week in their place of residence. And we're not able to do that now. So home visits are out. Resident visits are out. What we have had to rely on primarily, a lot of cards. And then for those who are able to converse on their telephone, a lot of phone calls. But we have not stopped functioning. We are out there ministering.
Stephen Ministry is a ministry that cares for people where they are at. If you have experienced adversity, loss, it is probably going to be, you're going to have raw pain in that experience. It is a first and foremost confidential. It's compassionate and also Christ-centered. During the pandemic, we've had to make adjustments like everybody else, and but we have strong relationships and have had them throughout the many months that we have been involved. And some people talk to their care receiver on the phone. There's a little bit of social distancing that is occurring now. Text messaging has been effective. I personally have been able to socially distance with my care receiver. It is different. And but I found that I've able to have strong relationships.
Right now with the Missions Committee, my focus is on feeding the hungry, working on hunger insecurity here in Collin County, and specifically here at the McKinney Little Free Pantry, which is located on the Trinity campus. And this little pantry here actually started out at Hugs Cafe. They needed to move it from Hugs, and did some research and found out that there are there's some hunger insecurity over here on the west side. So with Trinity's permission, we moved the pantry here. It started out as just one pantry in McKinney, and now we have 11. We have a few over here on the west side, and these are big pantries like this one here at Trinity. And then we have several pantries in downtown and in the east part of McKinney. The Little Free Pantry is open, first of all, 24/7, no questions asked, and anyone can come and drop off food. We ask that you drop off non-perishables. And if a school or an organization has a food drive, we then take that huge amount of food, and we store it down at Cookies and Bloom. Carolyn Selby, who's a member of Trinity, owns Cookies and Bloom, and she is also on the board of the McKinney Little Free Pantry with myself, and she offered her back room for storage. So if you're just going as a family with your children to the grocery store and you want to pick up some soup or some canned meat or beans or fruit, you can just bring that to the Little Free Pantry. We've got almost 200 volunteers since the pandemic has happened, and this continues. We're servicing the pantries twice a day. We're needing twice the amount of food, and people in the community are just stepping up. This pantry here at Trinity is the most used pantry out of all, and that's why we're servicing these pantries twice. I just think if you have not done something like this, my dad used to say, to give a gift is really a pleasure, but isn't the giver receiving the treasure?
CLC is the Community Lifeline Center. They were originally established to give people a lifeline that was some financial assistance to pay either rent or electricity or gas or something, so they weren't displaced from their homes. As they've seen the need grow, they had too have grown, so that the Community Lifeline Center now is a major food bank. They are distributing about 5,000 or 6,000 pounds of food a week, up from 400 to 450 pounds a week, but just before COVID. So their demand and need has grown by tenfold over the last 6 or 7 months. What really affected me was the fact that there were so many hungry people in our community, and there was unfortunately a perception that McKinney was rich and so it wouldn't have hungry people, and in fact we did. As a result of the coalition coming together, Sac Summer Hunger was actually created, and there were 5 churches in the community that banded together under the as part of the coalition to make Sac Summer Hunger a reality. We, as TPC, suggested the theme of feeding friends and family, and it's been adopted so those who are continuing to feed people throughout the remainder of this year will adopt and use that theme. And CLC is sort of the mainstream leader now. Been feeding anywhere from 60 to 120 children every single week, starting in June. Last week we handed out food to over 60 families. So COVID certainly has been a impetus for people to find resources just because of job losses. One of the things that I've learned is not to judge. It's not whether people come in a nice car or seem to have the appropriate clothing. We don't know what their situation is. Our job is to give everybody who needs some assistance that particular assistance. And the beauty is that because of what this church has helped us do, we've been able to do that. We have not had to turn away anybody who has said they need some help in a particular week. There has been a plethora of volunteers. We'd asked for 4 per week. We get anywhere from 6 to 12 per week. People just want to be there, want to help, and are regularly offering their services on a daily basis. I'd like to just say a big thank you to the people at the church. Without their generosity of time and money, we just couldn't do and be the kind of community-oriented organization that we are. Thank you to the church for their support, their understanding, and their constant giving in so many ways.